the difficulty of Minnesota's half-court defense?
Not a ton, to be honest. You don't want to expose yourself in transition. Obviously, getting out-rebounded by 6 or 8, whatever it was, is not what you want. Usually when we out-rebound our opponent, we put ourselves in position to win the game. But obviously, against their elite defense, any easy points you can get are always welcomed. But we have a lot more important things to worry about than just getting extra offensive rebounds at the moment.
Coach, the team has started poorly in each of
Slowly.
slowly in
I prefer that over
most of the
poorly.
first quarters. Obviously, the team recovered really well at the end of the first quarter, but what is it going to take for the starters to get off to a good start this time?
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. I think all 5 games against the Lakers, we only game 5, I think we won the first quarter, but it was still a slow start. Then obviously game 1 against Minnesota, you're down 18-4 at the 5-minute mark. And yes, the bench came in, did their job, and now we wind up winning the quarter by 2. But we have to take more ownership as a starting unit. And it's not just defensively, it's offensively as well. I mean, you look at a couple of our first possessions, that's not the plays that were called or diagrammed. And so we have to be more focused, more disciplined, more urgent on both ends of the floor. And hopefully that allows us to get off to a better start. But, you're down 1-0 at home. And we need Jamal, KCP, Michael, Aaron, Nicola to do everything in their abilities and powers to play at a higher level and get us off to a better start. So we're not playing from a deficit from Jump Street like we have now in 6 straight games.
Coach, you've talked a lot about how good Anthony Edwards is, how difficult he is to defend, how much of a scorer he is. What do you want to see against the others around Minnesota tonight defensively from your team? And speaking of him, he's a problem. Last year, if you look at our series, and I think people around the country are their eyes are opening to him. Our eyes were fully open to him. We beat them in a tough 5-game series last year. And if you look at his numbers last year in 5 games and this year, last year he averaged 32 points a game. Now he's at around 33.5. 5 assists, almost 5.5 assists. He's rebounding probably 3 more rebounds per game. The big thing that stands out is the improvement in the 3-point shooting. He was last year in the playoffs around 34%. This year is at around 44%. Shooting less, making more. So that's a credit to him and his continued development. So he's an issue, but obviously the discipline to guard Mike Conley, the discipline to guard Karl Anthony Towns, and then Naz Reid coming off the bench. Those guys were impactful, as we know, in game 1. And it's tough to beat a team when they get 4 scores going, especially they had 4 scores in the second half. It's a 3-point game with 3:30 to go. They go on a huge 8-0 run. 3 goes to 8 like that, and the game is over. So just more discipline, more physicality, more urgency in terms of guarding those players, KYP, tendency, as well as game plan.
Hey, Coach, I got kind of a 2-parter about Rudy Gobert. Sounds like he's going to land a little after 7 at Centennial. If he doesn't play, what does that change in terms of your approach? And if he gets here and needs, do you guys let visiting players use the practice court if they need to because the game's going on? Or how does that work?
Your second question, I have no idea. Congratulations to him, by the way. Obviously, believe a first-time father, so congrats to Rudy and his partner. And as far as the first question, it doesn't change anything with our approach. We're down 1-0, and if our approach is dependent upon Rudy Gobert being here or not, then we're in trouble. Our approach is we're down 1-0, and we have to do whatever it takes to go out there and get a win.
Feels like Justin Holiday took on a bit larger role in game 1 than he did in the first-round series. Just what do you need from him? What are you looking to get from him in whatever minutes he gets?
Yeah, space the floor. Obviously, we need some guys to step in and make shots to where they're guarding us, simply stated. And obviously, Justin was able to make a 3 last game. I thought he had some good defensive possession, switching on to Anthony Edwards. You trust him. He's smart. He's disciplined. He's a veteran. But we need to be able to make some shots because they're just not guarding us in certain spots on the floor, and we have to be able to make them pay for that.
Michael, with the benefit of film analysis, looking after game 1, the 7 turnovers for Jokic, obviously atypical number for him. What did you see from the tape as to the cause of them?
Well, it's interesting, and that's what you love about playoff basketball is that every round is different. And, for 5 games against the Lakers, he was double-teamed for 48 minutes. And it was amazing when you watch game one against Minnesota on Saturday night in the post. Not only did they not double for the majority of the night, they didn't even give any help. I mean, their guys were staying home. So that's one-on-one for Nikola. So I think, the one thing that stood out to me is he's just got to look to be more aggressive. If they're not doubling, he's got to look to make shots, go to the basket. He's so unselfish. He's trying to make plays for Aaron at the rim. But, Rudy Gobert is just hanging out, playing cat and mouse, and did a very good job of it. So I think in that mid-range, Jamal and Nikola have to be really aggressive, look to score.
You mentioned Anthony Edwards a while ago, and obviously all hands on deck to try to stop him. What do you think going back and looking at Christian Brown's minutes when he defended him? It felt like physically he tried to match up with him a little bit.
Yeah, I thought CB was outstanding, and the numbers bear it out. We look at everything after games, and all the guys that guarded Anthony Edwards and, what was the defensive box score looking like, and I thought CB's was excellent. And so that's one thing we talked about is just being more willing to give him different looks from a personnel standpoint and try to wear him down. I mean, it's probably not – he's a really hard guy to wear down at the level he's playing at, but, I thought CB came into the game, understood his role. I have to go out here and try to guard this guy, get into him, be physical, and hopefully he's able to do that, even to a greater extent tonight.
Coach, you mentioned after Game 5, you and Jamal had a kind of an emotional conversation on deciding if he would play. Is that going to happen again tonight, do you think? And would he be on a minutes restriction, knowing that this may be a long series and trying to keep him ready?
No, I don't anticipate any of those conversations. He's, when you're not able to do anything for 5 days, what happened in Game 1 for me was somewhat expected, unfortunate, but that's our reality. Jamal's not 100%. But we'll like I got him out early in that first, and we'll just keep an eye on him. How is he moving? And not just offensively, but defensively. I think for all of our guys, it's always about not only can you play, but can you go out there and help your team win? And I know Jamal, from a heart standpoint and a desire standpoint, wants to do whatever he can to help this team win. Seen that countless times, but sometimes your body doesn't cooperate. So we'll keep a close eye on him, but I fully expect him to be able to go, and hopefully he's able to get going early and find a rhythm.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, everybody.